Glenn, I wanted to ask Duane a few or one or two questions.
Yes.
Um, it's about a new student. Some of us have discovered. Are lucky to have been able to be chosen by the real guides in this lifetime to come across the new you to start this new journey. Somebody may ask, does it have anything to do with past life that most of us lived on earth so many, some lifetimes ago? The connection with the real guides now, the connection with the real guides now, because if you read most of the right off from Duane, he's always linking up his past life with a certain connection with a real guide or so. So somebody asked me also. Then I asked I want to ask, does it have any connection with our past lives as we are able to link up with the real guides now?
Yes, it does, Ibiok. In the sense that you want to be able to see what you've been through, because you need that as a reference and a comparison to where you are now. You see, so it's just like when you went to school and you had all these different teachers, first grade, second grade, third grade. You have that memory. You see, that's why you have that memory body. So you don't make it a reality saying that, oh, Charles, you have to mute. You don't make it into something that's not. It's simply a reference to go by. You need that reference to see where you've come from to where you are now, to compare the two. So again, it's like when you were a child and now you're the adult, you see the difference, don't you? So now all of a sudden you realize, well, I want to be the adult, but at the same time, I want that childlike attitude with me. So again, through all this experience, you're making the choice but now you have the isness reality here that is present. So now how does all of this relate to this isness, you see? So that's your next challenge. And yes, the past is important as a reference to help recognize who you are now. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Because I see in my life, I started to be call it to be disconnected with the church system since in my early age in life. Like I can remember in the 80s, I started to ask so many questions about church system until I was led to I was being led to a certain message brought by Abdul Rushin through the Great message, and I had to be there before I was able to link up with the cooperation system. So something happened that I had to drop that, but very one still not being satisfied with the system as that year 2001. So I had to give myself a break. Like as I told my ex friend that I felt that something was not going on well here. So I needed to give myself a break. So it's now that I'm trying to connect that maybe I have been prepared in some other time, so some other lifetime. Because most of the things I'm seeing now, just like I've passed through them in some other lifetimes before.
Yes, well, life is big and it's a lot bigger than we can ever consider. And so, yes, everything we've been through is really very minuscule, very small. It can be millions of lifetimes. And to the personal self, that seems like a big deal, of course. It's like when we look at the world and we see big buildings and all these things around us, it seems like a big deal. But actually, when we recognize our real awareness, because this is where it all leads up to, we eventually recognize who we are. We see that these things are not what they seem to be. They're all fine. We leave them in their place. This is where we don't need to get rid of anything in creation. We don't need to destroy it like things are being destroyed. We don't need to try and get rid of people or situations. No, that's not the idea, because it is endless. So you can stand in an endless position yourself. But again, it's a reference. It's a very good reference to have fun with and play around with. And at the same time, again, it's like you come home to your family and your friends, but most of the time you're out there on the job, you're working to support your family and friends. So there's many sides to your experience, but it is where you basically stand the most, where your intent is, and that is that if your intent is on the real journey to recognize the isness, all right, and then that's what it is. And so eventually you put it all together to where you can surpass it, but yet you're still here and now. And because this is all what life is, it's all here and now. There is no past or future or whatever. We just simply use these ideas as references for the literal self, but we need those ideas. We don't just get rid of them. We don't just leave society. Yeah, you can go out somewhere, you can go to a mountaintop or whatever, but you don't leave the whole of life, do you? These are just creations. These are just little things that are here and there. So it's that recognition that's very important. So what you're doing and what you've come through is all fine. And at times the personal self needs a break. That's where I stepped back in 2003 because I had taken so much on. I really needed to step back, and I needed to adjust certain things, and I needed to see better because it wasn't working the way I was doing it. It did work to a certain point. I did fine. I was shown I hit a home run, etc., which I did because I brought many people to a certain point. But there was still more. I knew there was more, but I needed to go through certain things to be able to see more. And you too, as you look at your experience, you went through the corporation, whatever, like I did. It doesn't matter. And so you needed at a certain point to step back. Now all of a sudden you see how you've come into this. Well, again, there's a part of you that is looking for something real, okay, more so than what is seen here. And so we do need the distortion. The distortion is fine, but it's come to the point to where the distortion, you might say, in other words, there are people outside, you're in the schoolroom, and there are people outside with missiles and bombs and tank wanting to blow up the school. Well, that's not too cool. So again, this is where this galactic thing is coming in with the Queen of Orion and whatever. So we're stepping up to, you might say that, we have rights too to continue on our education, and so do others. And so, but you see the process of it, young man. And yes, the past, again, it's all here and now. And it can be an excellent reference for you to better see now and eventually, little by little, recognize these, because life is big. And so there is no time factor to any of it. There's no time factor at all. But the thing is that while you have the knowledge of the new you right now, there is no guarantee in the future that you will see it again, because it's a roll of the dice. You're in then an extraordinary time in time and space, because you know what it's taken to bring this here, for this to be in the open as it is. It's been huge, because the forces that be, the influence, the Kalam God, the Supreme Deceptor, all of them, all the forces in creation do not want this here, okay? Because they want absolute control. So this is a very extraordinary time, and this is where I try to exemplify that, hey, don't take this for granted. Don't at all. I am very grateful that I have this. This is why I continue on until, oblivion, because again, everybody is so bent on destroying themselves. So this is a very special time, and you're very privileged. Yes, the boys give you an opportunity. They want to see what you'll do. You want to see what you'll do. So, yes, thank you for asking the question, Ibiok. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much.